Right, phase one of the online school application period is open from today. Gauteng Education says in this phase, pupils currently in grade 7 can only apply. These applicants or applications are open till the 3rd of September. For more on this, Edward Mosuwe, head of the department at the Gauteng Education Department, joins us now. Edward, thank you so much for joining us. So let's take a look at the phases. So you've got phase one, which starts now, followed by phase two. Just take us through phase one, if you may.
Thank you very much for inviting us. We are happy that today from 8 o'clock we started with the opening of the online admission system for all grade 7 learners who are in our public schools in Gauteng. We're talking about just over 183,000 of these young people that must be progressed into grade 8 in 2022. And the online system phase one is applicable only to that group or that cohort of young people. And what we have done since the system opened this morning, we are happy to report. In fact, as at 12:05, we had just over 19,000 successfully completed applications for placement. And this is what we've also asked parents to do. We've asked parents that they must select at least 5 schools to which they may want their kids to be enrolled at for next year. And in this way, we know that we will be able to find a school for the young people. We have had some glitches at the beginning of the process, but those have all been resolved. Among the glitches that we had, and we're raising this so that other parents may know, is that there were those that would have wanted to access the system before we went online and went live. And what had happened is that the search engines would have created a history in the background, and therefore they would be unable to log on. We ask the parents who may be experiencing such challenges to delete the history on their system and reload again, and it will be able to get them through. The second aspect that we had a problem with, which started very slow, was the number of SMSs that parents were receiving. We are happy to indicate that there's been a bulk SMS that had gone through, and now over 132 bulk SMSs have been sent to all qualifying parents. There's also been an indication where the foreign parents have been indicating that they can't find their data. What we advise foreign parents to do is that, remember, you must re-register on the system, and you will get a user name or a user number. That user number will be the new ID that the system will auto-generate, and it will then allow you to start the process again. Should any of the parents find that they are unable to have their data on the system, they must go back to the school where their learners are currently enrolled to rectify the errors.
So, Edward, you've just mentioned a couple of glitches from since you went online or you went live this morning today. You were also touting this new system. You said you've made some improvements, you've made some changes, but I'm a bit skeptical because you're just mentioning glitches now immediately.
Well, as you know, with every new development, I'm sure everything would not be 100% foolproof, but we can demonstrate now that everything that we had set to do with the system has been working. That's why we can now report just over 10% of the total cohort. In less than 4 hours, we have been able to register 19,000 parents successful registration application for 2022. So it demonstrates that the system is working. And as and when parents begin to bring other small challenges that they may have, we are able to work and deal with. This is what we can show. In my background here, we are able to demonstrate that at every 1 minute, we are able to see how many people are currently on the system as we speak. You will see a number of 6,105 applications or individuals that are on the system. And if you look here, the green bar shows 54% of that number that keeps on changing are on their mobile devices. 45% of those are on their desktop devices, and only 1% is on their tablet devices. And we're monitoring this system on an ongoing basis because this is the data that begins to tell us how well we are doing. And you can see with all the graphs that we are beginning to show that the system is actually continuously working. And that's why the technical glitches that we have reported on, we are quite satisfied that they've been dealt with.
Okay. Now, Edward, what would happen with those maybe parents who are not technically au fait or just can't access your website? What of them?
Well, we noted that there could be other categories of parents that may not have access to the internet, that may have challenges. And in this regard, taking into account our previous experience, we have established 47 satellite sites across the 5 corridors of our province. Now, at those 47 sites that we have established, parents can walk in, but ensure that there are proper COVID-19 protocols that we observe, and there are GDE officials that are standing ready to assist them. So to this extent, we have given an opportunity for those that can do this online from the comfort of their homes or their workspaces, but equally, those that don't have access, we've also made adequate preparations for them to go to the 47 site. Should they not know which sites they are, they may go to their closest or nearest district office of the Department of Education in Gauteng, and they will be redirected accordingly. So we are quite satisfied that we've done all necessary plans to make sure that everybody can access the system. And as we say again, this system for now is open for grade 7s that are in our public schools, only grade 7s in public schools, and it will close for this group. It's open today, and it will close on the 3rd of September. And on the 13th of September, we will then go into phase 2. And in phase 2, we will be looking at the grade 1s that are coming now fresh into the public schooling system, as well as other persons or learners that may be coming from outside the public schooling system that would want to come into the Gauteng public education system.
Lastly, Edward, you mentioned COVID-19 protocols within the schools, the school system. Where do we stand now? Because the Department of Basic Education was looking to reduce their social distancing, well, what do we call it, social distancing, distance to a certain extent, from 1 meter to half a meter. Where are we with that at the moment?
Well, you know that in the context of the management and containment of COVID, we take a cue from the Department of Health and that which is directed by the National Corona Command Council, as well as the directives or directions that are issued by the Minister of Basic Education. At this point, we do know that in schools, a 1 meter social distancing still applies, but what the directions issued by the Minister of Basic Education have indicated that where schools may not be able to observe the 1 meter social distancing, the directions were clear that such schools must apply to the head of department in respective provinces so that there may be a relaxation that they don't bring 100% attendance. And I'm referring here primarily to primary school learners, that they would be allowed to go into a rotation mode, but a plan must be put in place on how schools will then ensure that ultimately we have 100% return of learners. And in this case, in the context of Gauteng, I can confirm that we have received some applications from some schools, and these have been processed, and schools will be receiving feedback as we help these schools to ensure that at all times we comply with the directives that have been issued. So up to now, we are satisfied. We have seen the numbers drop in terms of the infection rate, and thankfully we are past the 3rd wave, and we are continuing to work with our schools to ensure that at all times the COVID-19 health protocols are maintained. Non-pharmaceutical interventions are the best thing to do as a means of our contributing to the reduction and the containment of the virus. But for all others who qualify to be vaccinated, we also want to encourage them that they must go get vaccinated.
All right, thank you so much for speaking with us there, Edward Mosuwe from the Gauteng Department of Education. I can see the numbers ticking there, so good luck with all those online applications. All right, so they've now started taking those applications for Gauteng schools for 2022 applications. You can start, everything started off this morning, a couple of glitches, as Edward said, but those have been sorted out.